Hey everyone, Arglefump here with the speed run for Nancy Drew, Secrets Can Kill. Right here I'm putting my mouse in a very precise location so I can click on the key the instant it appears on screen. That's a trick I'm doing a lot in this speed run. I move my mouse to a very specific spot so I can click on a thing as quickly as possible, like with the book. And with the newspaper, I move my mouse to the bottom of the screens because I know I'm going to be double-clicking to get away from the newspaper. Here, I double-click in a very precise location to go through the hallway in just a single double-click.
Yours truly, Hector Hulk Sanchez. Hey, you're talking to the man.
So, something weird about this conversation. Can you figure out what's weird about it?
All the beautiful girls at Paseo Del Mar High. Are you kidding? Isn't it obvious? I'm tall,
yep,
dark,
Nancy
handsome.
is not talking in this conversation. What I did was I went to the main
Everybody
menu, I went to the
Hulk
game
Sanchez
setup
and
option,
the
and I turned
Hulk.
off Nancy's dialogue,
You,
so
Jake?
Nancy
But I
doesn't
didn't hang
talk.
out with him.
That
Sorry,
way I
can't
zoom
talk
through
now.
all the
I gotta go to
conversations
practice
because we're
later.
not hearing Nancy's
How's
input.
it going? Why would I know about
So
a
that is a
robbery?
time saver.
All I know about is football.
The other major time saver I'll be doing is a quick spin, which looks like this. You right-click on the side of the screen. That makes you move a lot faster than if you left-click through the screens. Now, there's a funny thing about this steroid magazine. You can actually skip reading the steroid magazine and just talk to Daryl about the break-in at the drug pharmacy. That will let you skip the magazine.
Hi, I'm Connie.
However, it's
You're
not a
not
time
around
saver
here,
because
are
Daryl
you?
talks
Usually
for about
Paseo
11
Del Mar
seconds
High
and
is really
reading the
quiet and
magazine
boring.
takes less than
Today
11
it's
seconds.
totally out of control.
This right here is
There are
going to be a
ton of police
major
on
time
campus
saver
today. It's
going through the
wild.
Connie
Someone
conversation.
found a dead body at school this morning. I heard it was Daryl Gray, Paseo Del Mar's hot student council president. What a coincidence.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I never
hot
noticed.
student body president. Man, that guy is so good looking. So, talking about the hot student body president is actually
Hi,
a
my
time
name's
saver
Al. You sure
compared to the
arrived on a
previous
day with a
route
lot of
because
activity.
I
I
went from
studied
there
every
to
face
talking
I
about
see.
Connie's
To me,
medallion.
the face reveals
So,
a lot
the
about
previous
person.
route
Oh, yeah.
for this game had
Jake
you
Rogers
talking to
was a
Connie
dark
about
soul.
the victim.
He
She talks
created
about,
a lot of trouble. Jake
you know,
wasn't
Jake.
a happy person,
And
made
then you
others
talk
around
to
him
her
very
about
unhappy
the
too.
medallion.
See you later,
So
Nancy.
it's actually a time
Hi,
saver
Nancy.
to talk about the
Yes.
hot guy
We've
as
been
opposed
in
to
a few
talking about
classes
the
together.
victim. That saved me
I
about
think she
4
was dating
seconds.
Jake Rogers.
In fact,
Goodbye,
this
Nancy.
speedrun in general is 4 seconds of improvement
What is
over
it
the
you want
previous
now?
world record.
Hey,
The previous
a girl
world
can make a
record
mistake,
is
can't
by
she?
Evil
I
Clown
gotta
Attack.
go now. Later.
That person beat the game in 8 minutes and 17 seconds. This run is 8 minutes and 13 seconds, and it's basically all improvement from this part of the game. The second half of the game is going to be exactly the same, you know, as Evil Clown Attack's route. But the first half of the game, I saved time through that conversation with Connie. That was the big time saver.
You look like
The
you're
other
going to make
time
an
saver
excellent addition to
was
Paseo Del Mar
Jake's
High School
locker.
student body.
I looked
I'm
at
Daryl
everything in
Gray,
Jake's locker
Renaissance
besides,
man,
except
short
for
order cook,
the judo book.
student
I did
council
not look at
president,
the judo
and
book.
professional
So
escort
that was actually a
to pretty
time
Nancy.
saver. It
Bye,
saved me
Nancy.
about a second to
How can
not
I help
look
my
at
number
the
one
judo book.
detective?
So,
In my humble
not
opinion,
looking at the judo
you either
book
hand
and
case
the
over to
conversation
police
with
or
Connie,
keep
those
pressuring
were my
each of them
big
until
time-saving
somebody
skips,
cracks.
which allowed me to get the
Oh yeah,
world
Nancy,
record
I just
for
remembered.
this video.
Some guy dropped off this note for you.
So
I think
here
it's
with
important.
Daryl, I'm going to spin out through the left as opposed to going through the right. It's slightly faster to go to the left out of this area, just because you've got 1 or 2 fewer screens to go through. So it's slightly faster, saves less than a second. So there are some minor time savers like that in this route. And this is the area where I lost the most time. It takes me 34 seconds to get through the boiler room segment. It took Evil Clown Attack 30 seconds to get through it, and I think it's because of this. You see the starting combination number? That is random. That changes every single time you play the game. You're supposed to set it to 1967. So if you're really lucky, it will be like 1966 and you only have to move 1 number, and then it takes you less than a second to solve that puzzle. I was not so lucky. I got a combination number which was kind of far off, and it kind of threw me off, and aww. Also, I make little mistakes, like, you'll notice there I accidentally clicked up to have Nancy move the screen up. So I made some little mistakes throughout this run. So if you cut out those little mistakes, and, you know, so you get perfect timing, you know, perfect luck with those randomized puzzles, then the time for this run would be 8 minutes and 8 seconds. That's what I've calculated. So, yeah, I think there's about 5 seconds of improvement in this run if you get super lucky with those combinations and the conversations. So, the conversations are not usually randomized, but what a person says at the end of the conversation changes. Like Connie, we're going to have conversations with Connie coming up here. She can finish by saying, see ya. She can finish by saying, bye, Nancy. She can finish by saying, later, Nancy. And she can finish by saying, I'm out of here.
What
Obviously,
is it you want
it's
now?
a time waster if
Yes,
she says,
Nancy.
I'm out of
I'm
here,
the
because
series
that's a
winner of the
sentence which
men's
takes a while to
tournament.
say.
It wasn't
If she
easy
says,
for me,
see
and
ya,
I'm
that's
proud
the
of what I
shortest.
did.
That's
The
what you
prize money
want.
is a lot better
If she
in the
said
men's
that
division.
every
It
single
was enough to
time,
cover the
that
tuition
would
for
save
college next
you a
year.
couple
Hey,
of seconds
I'll
throughout
do
the run.
whatever it takes to reach my goal.
We
Now
talked to
I'm going to be
her
the first one in my family
four
to go to
times
college.
throughout
Are
this
you
run.
crazy?
So, I
Of
mean,
course
if you're
not.
super lucky,
I didn't kill Jake.
she says
I
that.
didn't kill Jake. You can turn me in if you want to. I'm telling
Now,
the
here's
truth.
a
See
weird
ya.
thing with that oh, she said see ya. Yes! No, weird thing about that conversation with Connie. She says, I'll be the first one
How
in
can
my
I help,
family
my
to go to
number one
college.
detective?
But you'll notice I actually
You got me there,
interrupted her,
detective.
and so
But it
she
didn't
says,
have
I'll be
to
the
be
first
like
person in
this.
my family to go to college.
I wish we had met under
And then
different
she immediately
circumstances.
jumps into the next
I didn't know what I was
conversation.
getting into.
I
This
don't know
guy,
why that
Mitch
is.
Dillon,
That's the only
offered me a
point
way
in
to
the
make some
game
fast money.
where
I needed the
by
cash for school
selecting a
next year.
conversation option, you can
So I
actually
went
cut
for it.
off what the person is
All I
saying.
had to do was pick up a package
I wish I
at
knew
the
why,
pharmaceutical
but
company,
I mean,
then
maybe
Mitch
there's a
threatened
way
me.
to do
I
that
don't
for
know.
every
But Jake
conversation.
was always getting into someone's
Maybe.
business. Maybe he overheard a conversation between me
I
and
kind
Mitch.
of doubt it.
All I
And
know is
here
one
we've
day
just got
Jake stuck a
storyline
videotape
stuff.
in my
Daryl is
face
talking.
and told me
He's
he had enough to
talking.
put me away unless I paid him
So let me
off.
talk about
I
a
had
couple
no
of other
choice but
skips
to
I've done
cooperate. I guess he decided
throughout
he could get
this
more money
video.
out of Mitch. That was a
So
big
there are
mistake.
some points
Mitch was
where
in a
instead of
different
doing
league
a
than Jake.
fast
Mitch is
spin,
totally
I
capable
did
of it.
like
I care
a
about
one.
you, Nancy, and
I
wish you
just
weren't
clicked
involved
left
in
or
this
right
mess.
rather than doing a fast
But
spin.
if you insist,
That's what I
I'll
try to
help
do
you
with
catch
Daryl
Mitch.
because
I have to
Daryl
deliver
is
more
one
food to the
screen
pharmaceutical
left of
plant
the
later.
starting screen,
We can try
so
and
you don't
grab
have
Mitch
to do
while
a
I give him the
fast spin to
package
reach
tonight.
Daryl.
Take
You can
care,
just do a
detective.
normal click and then click on Daryl. Also, getting out of the boiler room, you know, the boiler room escape
Nancy, need
thing,
something? I wish I
you don't have to
could,
do a
Nancy.
fast spin out of there, it's
I
just
can't
one
take that
screen
kind of
away.
risk right now.
Same with
Not with
going from
college just around the
Aunt
corner. If I
Eloise's
get
dresser
involved,
to
the
Aunt
truth
Eloise's
about the tournament
television.
would be
You
exposed.
don't have to fast
I'll
spin
never go
there.
to college if that
In fact,
happens.
fast spinning is
This
kind
starting
of
to get really intense.
non-ideal.
I don't want to get involved, even
because
if
that-
it means I would get the
I don't
chance
know.
to help
I feel
Daryl.
like it's kind of non-ideal because it throws you a little bit too far away, and then you have to move your mouse farther to the side to click on the item that you're trying to reach. And here we are. We're basically at the end of the game. I don't like this guy. Can I shut him up? Pause button. Pause button. Pause button. Why is the TV remote not working? Gosh. Okay, well, gun and fire the gun the instant you can.
You're surrounded.
Basically, what I did was I went click, 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 and I was just clicking the entire time to get a click
And Mitch is
on
on his way to
the
prison.
first frame
Daryl's
that you
recovering just
possibly can
fine,
get a
and
click
Connie's
on.
giving him private judo lessons. Hulk
So,
agreed to
the
pay for
speed
damages
run
to the
is
pharmacy,
over.
and
Now,
Hal got
the
his
timing
scholarship.
begins when the opening letter starts, and it ends when the ending
Today,
letter
Aunt
starts.
Eloise got a letter from a friend.
So like I
Something
said,
about a
8
television
minutes and
station in death
13
threats.
seconds.
Sounds like another case for
Probably
Nancy
you
Drew.
can cut it down to
Don't
8
worry,
minutes
I'll
and
be
8
careful.
seconds
Love
if you
Nancy.
have super good luck. But I did not have super good luck. But I think it was a great speedrun anyway. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me beat the game. Tomorrow, I'm going to beat the game much faster.